Well, hello. Hi, everybody. Is everybody having fun? I did not watch the midterms. I watched about 10 minutes and then I said to myself, this is silly. I don't want to do this. Oh my God, this one. And then I turned it off and I went to Netflix and I watched The School of Good and Evil, which was great because the evil was in red and the good was in blue. They had the girl, I don't even know if they were consciously aware of it, but the good girl in the School of Good and Evil, they were putting her in these beautiful blue bonnets and pretty blue. And then the evil ones who were working with Satan and the blood magic, and there's like bloody red everywhere. So it was the blue versus the red. So I thought that was very, very funny. I didn't know if they were consciously aware that they had chosen blue and red, blue being the sky, heaven, God, red being the earth, right? Adom in Hebrew. Dom, red, both come from the same because the red of the clay, right? The red of the blood. Yes, it was a great kids. I like kids fantasy movies a lot. Good, clean fun, usually uh, with a moral compass to it. Well, let's give gratitude to everyone who's decided to hang out with me here the day after elections. Hi, Margaret Cummings. Great to see you. Oh, you're in Aries as well. Lovely. Marvel Johnson is in the house. Hello. Kelly Gilbert. Hello. I might start coughing because I forgot to put a towel down and I'm starting to feel my nose. If that happens, I'll go and I'll grab a sheet to put because my cat's dander, yeah, gets to me. Hi, Vicky. Hi, Painted Cherokee. How y'all doing? Did anybody stay up and have meltdowns, or were you like me? I refuse to be manipulated emotionally. I have cast my vote. I have told people how I voted. I have encouraged other people to vote. But I don't want to drive myself crazy. I was really enjoying. Hi, Paulette. Good to see you here. Hi, Claudia. She's in Astoria, Queens, New York. Congratulations, by the way, on your the governorships. For the most part, we did great in the governorships. There were a few disappointments with the governorships. Of course, Texas, we were hoping for O'Rourke. 538 had him at a 2% chance of winning the governorship. So the cards were positive, but the statistics, not so much. Carrie Lake has been entertaining me. I think pretty much I'm going to go ahead and call it for the other person who's running against Hobbs, right? I called Hobbs. She's already down 2 points, and they have not they haven't counted all of the Democratic precincts yet. So I think it's pretty much over for Carrie Lake. In fact, her numbers are starting to go worse because they're now counting Tucson and Phoenix. They've counted about 95 to 99% of the red areas in Arizona, and now the last is the mail-ins, which tend to lean Democratic, and also the Phoenix Tucson area. So I think I'm going to go ahead and call it for Hobbs. It's still thin in Nevada. They still have about 20% votes to count in Las Vegas, which has about 650,000 people in it, versus Reno, which is slightly more GOP at about 250K people. Most of the Republican districts in Nevada are close to being called. So if the Democrat can take it, that's a good sign, but it's a very, very thin race, the Senate race in Nevada. So I did not throw cards on Nevada. I wish I had, because and off the top of my head, I cannot remember the names of the two candidates running in Nevada, but it's looking really, really thin. The thing that we can hold out hope for, though, is that there's a ton of votes still coming in from the Las Vegas area. Well, I just didn't see the point because the remote views told us that everything was going to be okay, that we were moving not towards blue and red, but a united America that was green, that we would hailed in the new green economy because we are a country that has always promoted industry and invention. And so for that reason, America will be the country, one of the countries that uses its support of innovation to herald the new green economy. So having said that, in the end, I didn't really feel like I had to have a meltdown about the midterms. And the cards were pretty good. The cards were pretty good for the Democrats. So I mean, the thing I wanted to talk about was the remote I did last night, because every time I go forward 5 to 10 years in Texas, everything is completely different in Texas. Yeah, Annette, find who you like. I mean, Midas Touch is political, it's opinionated. He's a lawyer, so that's cool. I like to just get the statistics. I can think for myself. I don't need anyone to think for me. I just want the statistics and the data. So I tend to look at, I like 538 because they look at all of the polls and then they grade the polls, whether it's an A or a D or a B, if you should take this poll seriously or not. And, but I think we did much better than people thought we were going to do. The governorships, I think we did great, other than O'Rourke. But Wisconsin, Michigan, come on now, Pennsylvania. I did a remote view of Fetterman. His wife loves him so much. Oh my Lord. She's gonna make that man a vegan, you know. His health, he had the sun over him. Which was the perfect card for Fetterman to win. And people are saying, no, sun doesn't mean he's going to win. And then he also had the strength card as his final outcome. So he's on the mend, and he has one of those really loving wives that's going to make sure he drinks his green smoothie, right? So I was in a remote with him, and I found myself thinking about Philly cheesesteaks. And I have tried Philly cheesesteaks when I was in Philadelphia. I was 18 years old, and I said, I got to go and try this. And it's as delicious as they say. But the day comes when you know you've had your last Philly cheesesteak, right? And so that's kind of what's happened with Fetterman. He's having to change his diet quite a bit, but he's going to do just fine. He's going to do just fine. I felt bad for Herschel Walker. As I said, he's not going to make it. I also saw delays, and that's because we're looking at a runoff. My concern about Herschel Walker is that he has signs, and this is strictly for entertainment purposes only, and I'm not diagnosing him, but when you have those types of traumatic brain injuries, that is a risk factor for developing dementia, early onset dementia. And people are very concerned that the signs of early dementia are apparent with Herschel Walker and are getting steadily worse. So having said that, it would be hard for me to see, given how quickly he's deteriorating. I mean, the last interviews he's done, he's just have been awful for him. Even if he were to have won based on the remote views and the information that we were able to get on him, he would have been asked to step down and would have been replaced by another Republican candidate because of health issues. So he would not have served for long if he had won. But since Warnock almost has 50% already, and we haven't even counted all the mail-ins, which were predominantly Democrat. It's highly unlikely, given the trajectory of where Walker is, given the fact that a lot of people held their nose and voted for him, given the fact that he's getting steadily worse, given the fact that his opposition is already at nearly 50%, it would take a small miracle at this point for Walker to win in December 5th. My heart goes out to him because I just feel like he's been used his whole life. And what he needs to do is take care of his health. Very sad. I like what Marvel Johnson just said. Yeah, using him as a tool, a brain damaged person who's had his head punched in multiple times, who's now showing signs of early dementia. Yeah, and they know it, and they're still dragging him through this like a downer cow. I mean, and when you get into the remote views on Walker, what does the GOP say? Well, we'll get him in, and then we'll have him leave for health reasons, and then we'll stick one of our boys in there. So they're just using him. It's just so evil and so heinous. And I think a lot of people in Georgia are seeing through it. Stacey Abrams is a really remarkable person. I think that good things are coming for her. He was sweating. I can't get mad at him because I just feel like he's not well, unfortunately. So I'm here to hang out. And we could do some blitzes if you like, or we can just talk. It's up to you. If I get an order, I would do blitzes. Oh, you mailed in for, yeah. So in the next 2-3 days, they should get through all the mail-ins. And like I said, they have not counted all of Atlanta yet. I think they've counted most of the conservative areas, excuse me, but they're still counting Atlanta. So, yeah, you have to have over 50% if you've got 3 candidates. So we are looking at a runoff, but it would, given, again, just where the energy is, I can't see how Walker would be able to pull it off when his opponent with a 3 is already at nearly 50%. It's not going to happen for him. But, I hope he can take care of himself, because to be honest with you, I get the impression also when you go into Walker's energy, this guy doesn't even want to be there. He's confused. He doesn't know what he's doing. They're trying to work with him. He can't handle the stress they're putting him under because of the medical problems he's having. I could see him not even showing up at this point. This is the type of person that would walk off the job. And to be honest with you, I don't blame him. So could he go for another debate in December? No, I don't see him even being willing to do another debate. I could see him just checking out and letting the Republicans fight to get him elected, because at this point, I don't even know if he has the energy to continue on. That's how bad Herschel Walker's cards are. What's interesting, I think, about Beto O'Rourke is that we've thrown 2-3 times on Beto O'Rourke, and he always comes out as the emperor. Emperor can be the president. It can be the governor of a state. Oh, thank you, Carmen. And nope, that's the wrong one. Oh, hold on. Thank you, Carmen. They're not letting me pin. That's weird. It's going to pin your question. I think we need to do the empath's prayer so that I can just focus, because a lot of good questions are coming. But I really want people. Here's the thing I would say based on the remotes, so that everybody can just go live their lives. You did what you had to do. You voted your conscience. You looked at the data and you made the intelligent decision. The future of the United States is not red, and the future of the United States is not blue. The future of the United States is the new green economy. So this will all get sorted out. I also have one more remote that I was going to start with and I didn't continue on with, and that is the future of Texas, which I've talked about. I've said over and over again, keep your eyes on Texas. Now, there's a couple things I want to say based on the remotes regarding Texas. Both DeSantis and is it Greg Abbott? Did I get that? I always get the names wrong. They're facing criminal charges for kidnapping. They're also facing potentially civil lawsuits. So I don't imagine either of them will be able to continue their four-year terms. DeSantis wants to run for president. He thinks he's going to solidify the Republican nomination. I don't think it's going to go. I don't think that people understand that you cannot use your position of power to kidnap innocent people and traffic them and send them across straight line. This is whether or not people are consciously aware of it or not, the Justice Department is working very steadily with ICE and other agencies to look at prosecution. They're not going to get away. You cannot do that. They don't have the kind of power that they think they have. And I understand why the Justice Department is still building a case. They're doing an investigation. There are people that have already gotten immunity and they're waiting until after the elections. But looking at the cards of Greg Abbott and Ron DeSantis, both ended in poverty. Five of Pentacles. And I think that a lot of that poverty is going to come from the need for legal representation. You can't kidnap people. Never mind the fact that they're going to be prosecuted. Think about all the civil suits. Every one of those people is becoming a United States citizen and they're guaranteed life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And you violated all their rights as Americans. So you're screwed. You're in trouble. You're all going to receive civil lawsuits. You're going to lose. And I think they will be prosecuted. And they have to be prosecuted. You can't just act like that. So it's going to be interesting to see how the DOJ plays that out. So again, for that reason, keep your eye on Texas. Everything is beginning to fall apart. Mark Kelly is fine. I think he already won. I think they're already starting to call it for Mark Kelly. The other thing I would say is that if you put yourself in a remote state using HCRV, I know a lot of you have taken classes, you've audited HCRV, we put ourselves in a relaxed state, we get our brain waves down, and then you let yourself be carried over Texas 10 years from now. What do you see? You see green mountains, green grass. You see clean rivers. You see the forest extending into parts of Arizona and New Mexico. It's all going green. And the reason why is because the Texas millionaires and billionaires are phasing out animal products because of the subsidies and the fact that the water isn't available. And they're moving towards lab-grown meat facilities. They're not going to give up producing beef and stuff like that, but they want in on the big money because they know it's going to be cleaner, it's going to be better for Texas, and they know that they're going to get government contracts. So if the government is trying to go green and is going to give you $1 billion to develop a beef steak without the cow, damn straight, the people who are currently part of the beef industry in Texas are going to grab that $1 billion. We want the money because we see the writing on the wall. Same with petroleum-based products. It's not going to happen overnight, but they can see the writing on the wall, so they're diversifying their portfolios, and good for them. So the future of America is green and the new green economy, and Texas is going to be a beautiful, beautiful. Look, they're never going to change. They're always going to be conservatives. They won't want to pay their taxes. They'll become green capitalists. But when you go to their home, they're going to serve you the best most delicious beefsteak, clean, organic. It just didn't come from a cow. It came from stem cells. That's gross. That's terrible. Well, then you don't have to eat it. It won't taste any different. In fact, it'll probably taste better because you won't have the bacteria issues. You won't have. So that's where we're headed. And it's a good thing. So Texas is headed towards a great place. And that's why I'm not worried. Well, Florida's a sad story regarding Florida because we don't even know if we can save parts of South Florida because they didn't invest early enough in protecting from global warming. I mean, when you go into the remotes, in some ways, Texas is doing better than Florida because they've got the money, the resources, and the lobby to switch over to the new green way of producing animal products. And they will because they can see a good deal. And if the government is giving them $1 billion, why not? There's vegetable meat substitutes, but people want that lean chicken breast. And now you're going to be able to get it within a couple of, I think 2.5 years, but they're going to be ready to start commercially producing chicken breast that looks like a chicken breast tastes. It is a chicken breast. It's just not a chicken breast from a chicken. I'm interested in the rabbis and the Muslim clerics discussing, well, what do we call it? In Judaism, you can't cut the limb off of a living animal. So they say, well, if they took the cells from a living animal, is it not kosher? Well, it still might be kosher because there's also an idea in Judaism where if it's multiple times removed from the actual thing that happened, if it's like 47 times removed in processing, then technically it is kosher. So they took a small amount of cells from an umbilical cord of a chicken or something like that, from a yolk or whatever, and then you replicate it, but then you have to go through transferring, and then you have to grow the cell line, and then you have to, so it's so many times removed from the original action. So then you have to decide in Jewish law, well, is it fleshig or milkig? Do we consider it meat or neutral? Well, we technically would call it neutral because it's really not meat, but we'll probably still treat it like meat because it's so much is like meat that you could confuse it for. So I love hearing the rabbinical debates about how the rabbis, because Israel is ready. We don't have the land. I'm Israeli American. So we don't have the land to be growing this type of meat. We don't have the water resources. So that's why it's becoming a kosher issue, but it will become kosher. It'll technically be what we call parv, which means you can eat it with milk or meat because we're not allowed to eat meat and milk together. But they will call it meat because it's close enough to meat. Then you got if you keep kosher, then even if you eat the synthetic stuff or the lab grown stuff, you still have to wait 6 hours between eating the synthetic and eating dairy. And that's and this is going to be decided like in the next 3 years. That's how fast this is happening. So if you are Orthodox, we have a few Orthodox people that watch the channel. Can I eat this stuff? Probably yes. But because it can be confused for real meat, you still have to treat it like meat. It still goes into its own container, a meat container, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Isn't that cool? And same with halal in Islam. Are we permitted to eat it because we're not allowed to cut the limb off of a live animal because Islam and Judaism are very similar that way. But yeah, probably because it's so many times removed from the actual action that they'll probably okay it. Carnivores are not super healthy. They have the lowest life expectancy in the world, Kika. And the only carnivores in human history are people that live in extreme climates where they don't have access to vegetables because hunting is extremely time consuming. I'm a medical anthropologist. And they're usually, if you're looking at the Inuit, for example, it was mostly fish. So they were high in omega-3s, but no, I'm not familiar with any. The closest we get to carnivores is maybe in sub-Sahara Africa, which is a blood and milk diet, and they rarely kill their animals. But those are two extremely harsh terrains where people are dependent on animal products. Most humans throughout history grew up in temperate zones with a diet that's about 80% plant-based, 20% animal products. So people hunted every 2, 3 days, and the rest of their diets were wild grain, nuts, seeds, fruits, and vegetables. Don't be a carnivore unless you want to die of a heart attack. They're thin because they're dehydrated. And it destroys your kidneys, by the way. When we think about Chinese medicine, kidneys are the jing, it's the life force. And when your kidneys are gone, it's pretty much finished for you. Kidneys and pancreas are the two things we're worried about. If you have no pancreatic function, if you're not producing enzymes, those are the two things we look at. So uric acid destroys your kidneys. So if you're living on a diet high in uric acid and you got gout and everything else going on and you're dehydrated and your kidneys are not getting enough fluids to eliminate the uric acid or enough plant-based products, vitamin C, et cetera, to neutralize that kind of a diet, you're probably going to wipe your kidneys out. And in fact, as a doctor, I treat a lot of people who have been carnivores and thought that they were doing great with a total cholesterol of 180, and then they come in and have their first heart attack, and they come to see me, and I have to spend 6 months, a year, just cleaning up enough of the mess so that they can get started to recover from the carnivore diets. I would say a large percentage of the people coming into my office having heart attacks are males that were on keto and carnivore diets. They make up a large percentage of the people having heart attacks in LA. They're doing everything right. They're exercising, but it's vasoconstrictive. It's not the right diet for the human body. All right, let's do some blitzes. All right, let's do the empath prayer. All right, I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together collectively we say, Amen. Yeah, I don't tell people they have to be vegan. I'm a vegan. I say that research shows that the average human does well with 30 on the zone, which is 30 or 40, 30, 30, 40% carbs, 30% protein, 30% good fats. So that's accomplished when, if you have a total caloric intake of, say, 2,000, then 400 kcal would be protein coming from an animal source if you're on the zone. Don't sweat it, Nancy. Take care of your health first, but be responsible. Oh, you have a Bedouin family? Oh, the Bedouins traditionally were mostly vegetarian. That's not good. No, the best vegetarian food I ever had in my life is Bedouin. Hummus, tabbouleh, couscous, lentil soup, mango salad with spice. I ate good when I was with the Bedouin. They do have a little bit of dairy, but yeah, it's most of what I ate. What did I eat when I was with the Bedouin? Honey, honey cake, yogurt, mango, hummus, tabbouleh, couscous, baba ganoush, tomato and cucumber salad. Not a lot of meat. All right, let's do it. Vance won in Ohio. Oh, well. Can't win them all. Let's see. It's all the new green economy anyway, so there's only we're all going green, so I mean, I like watching the debates, but I know where we're headed, so I think we're going to be fine. Okay, so we have a question from Judith Gillet. She wants to know, is Trump feeling vulnerable and going to dump dirt on DeSantis? Ooh. Yeah, I think now that the midterms are over, the DOJ can start showing their hand a little bit more in terms of prosecutions. I haven't thrown on Trump in a while. How did you know that, Judy? Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Thank you for this question, Judy. Okay, did everybody get Judy's question? She wants to know how Trump is doing and if he's going to take stuff out, the relationship between Trump and DeSantis. Okay, here's Trump, the Knight of Swords, angry, emotionally erratic, out to hurt someone, unstable. This is somebody crazy, somebody who loses control. I think of this as like the person who's a domestic violence person who becomes increasingly violent with his partner or her partner if they feel like they're losing control, or their partner. So Knight of Swords has that erratic, violent, psychotic energy. In the Yoruba tradition, we have a deity that's called Ogun, who he's the worker deity. And probably this archetype comes from Ogun. Ogun is steel and metal and foraging of work. But he's highly emotional and he can be unstable. And as quick like this, he can go off and become violent. And that lack of ability to control his mental his mental wherewithal and his violent nature is something we see in this archetype. So if you're talking about where Trump is at, he's not all there. He's in a very violent state. Now, remember what I had said about DeSantis. His destiny is poverty, lawsuits, public embarrassment, humiliation, being kicked out of Five of Pentacles is to be in exile. So he is rejected by his community by the end of it. And we can see here is the future for DeSantis. He's about to be hit with those civil suits. Now, remember the ACLU and other wonderful organizations, which we support here on this channel, and I'm a proud member. They are supplying lawyers for those people who got kidnapped. And we're also looking at actual prosecution. He can party today, DeSantis, but he's not going to be partying in the future. I think that Trump's future is no more. I'm worried about coronary artery disease. I think that he sees himself as betrayed by his own followers. It's like he feels his followers were his followers, and you don't have a right to take my followers. They're mine. You don't get to go over and support DeSantis. Betrayal, heartbreak, cheating, torn between two lovers, Three of Swords, right? So you chose him instead of me. It has that feel to it. The Constitution, right? The higher ethos. So I think the American people become tired of both of these people. There's an investigation going on into DeSantis, which is going to start to come out in the very near future. And I'm going to show you those cards. I would also say that based on these cards, Donald Trump is depicted as violent, angry, emotionally unstable, and detached from reality. And so those two archetypes are the Knight of Swords connected with the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups has a positive and a negative aspect, but certainly if she's an aspect of the Knight of Swords, she rubs her lamp and she spins out. She daydreams. She gets lost in the quarters of her own mind. And unfortunately, you don't want to, I've talked about this in the past as I read the cards, you don't want an investigation card with a sun card, because a sun would be an exposure, particularly if it was over the criminal in an investigation. And so we have here, unfortunately, things crashing for DeSantis. Of course, he's the 8th house to Donald Trump because he's the person that Donald Trump is in opposition to. They're both running for, excuse me, GOP 2024. We can see the sun is over DeSantis and that a crash is coming. And then what I would reiterate about an investigation is, here's the investigation. And so again, if we're talking about an investigation being over you, you don't want those types of cards, particularly when you're getting this kind of a reaction. And as I've said in political readings, we read the Hierophant as the ethos, the social contract, or the higher belief of Americans, which is the law of the land, the Constitution. And the final outcome is we get our wish, the Constitution will win. The Constitution survives. Any questions? Interesting, huh? Oh my goodness. That was a great question, Judith. Thank you so much. All right, so this question is coming from Melissa Miller. Hi, Melissa, and thank you so much for helping out today. She wants to know what's going to happen in Texas. Will there be an indictments, exposés? Let's take a look. I think Greg Abbott won. I don't think there was cheating. I think it's more about changing minds. And every time I go into the future in Texas in 10 years, because they grab all those new contracts, it's green. It's not red, it's green. Money green, right? Yeah, we'll give you organic and green if that's what you want, because it's green. Texas in some ways is kind of like Amsterdam, right? We'll let you do whatever you want so long as you give us the money, pay your taxes, right? There's that independence that actually is going to bode well for Texas in the future. Live and let live. If this is what the people want, you can still get a good old-fashioned steak, but you'll have to pay a lot more for it. Future of Texas. Is everybody enjoying watching Elon Musk have a meltdown on Twitter? I shouldn't. Texas. Oh my God. Yeah, Greg Abbott's in a lot of trouble. Oh my God. Well, I mean, he can't stop the investigation. He can't stop the investigation. You can see here, not doing too good. Same as Trump. He's not in control of the situation. Family secrets. This is going back to what we had said about Texas in the past, wheelings and dealings. It's all in the family. Keep it in the family. Give the contracts to your friends, the lobbyists. Take a kickback. The taxes will still be high, but the money will go to our friends into private enterprise. So you have that kind of 10 of Pentacles, which is a family thing. It also has a negative aspect, which can be family secrets. And then regarding Governor Abbott himself, it's very, very, very bad. It has to do with he got in with the wrong crowd. And you can see that 9 of Swords over Abbott. Not good. Stress at night, codependency, addiction. Also, possibly a sex expose or something like that. But something is over him. There's some type of an investigation, secrets. I think it has to do with an investigation, not only on the kidnapping, but also on misuse of federal. I think they got audited. It always looks like an audit. Oh, here's the good news for Texas. You guys are going to start getting in Texas international contracts for some of the new green stuff you're going to start producing. And that's going to really convince a lot of people in Texas that the new economy that they're producing is the wave of the future. You can see here great offers coming in from Texas to the rest of the world once they start producing all this new green fuel, green burgers. Look at that. This is what I'm telling you. Look at them. They're like supplying green to the world. Texas has a great future because they like innovation and independence. And the final outcome for Texas, which is what I've always seen for Texas, they will be victorious. There will be joy after tears, victory after tears, and they will come together to create a beautiful state. 2 of Cups is about sacred contracts. It's also a medical card. If you take a look at the symbolism of the snakes entwined and beautiful Leo the lion with the wings, there's a sense of justice, loyalty, health, and healing. It's a wonderful card for the future of Texas with a beautiful Ace of Swords. Great future for Texas. Not so much for Greg Abbott. Dang, what did he get involved with? Look at that. That's Greg Abbott. Look at him at night stressing. He knows something's about to come. Look at that. Dang, bad news, huh? Bad news for him. I don't know what he got involved with, but it is not good. And some of it's going to become in public. It's just very strange. Well, also in the Senate, you have to realize that we have a vote if it's a tie with our VP, and you also have to realize that the contracts that are coming up, the money that's being released under Joe Biden is the new green economy. So if the Republicans are fighting in their district, they're fighting to get new green contracts. So inevitably, everybody rolls over to the new green economy because that's the new technology. So Texas is all about, well, we want the new technology. We want so great, go for it. And so that's why Texas in some ways does better than even other states, because they kind of open the floor for that, and because they get the contracts, and because they can see what's coming, and so they want in, and that's good. All right, here's a question coming from Eleanor Calabrese. She wants to know about Congress. We know there's a January 6th commission happening, and will that change after January? What will change with the investigations? Okay, future of the January 6th committee. Adam Schiff is worried. There's some fear here from Adam Schiff that it could be ending prematurely. But yes, it's January 6th commission will probably come to an end. It's you can see here there's some stress from people in the committee. However, whether the January 6th committee continues or not, there are people in Congress and in the Senate with a Queen of Wands. They seek justice absolute, my way or the highway. I wouldn't be worried about this. Also, you can see the other in relationship to the question, Queen of Swords is justice, but they also want it to end. Five of Pentacles. I think that what the GOP is saying is that they are ready to put Trump to history. They want to bury and move on from the Trump era. They want to jump into the new green economy and get these new deals, this new $1 billion contract. They want to get the new capture CO2 contract for their state. It's all about, okay, if that's the new deal, if that's the new money, bring it to Texas, bring it to, we'll do some CO2 capturing. How much are you going to pay us? This is all about how do we get the contracts? How do we get the contracts? The hope and fear that we will win or that the house will be divided. I think it's pretty easy to read that card. We don't want a divided house, but we can see that, yes, they move on, Chariot, from January 6th, but Nine of Pentacles, again, is the Garden of Eden, happy in the garden, wealth in the garden. We're wealthy in the garden because Americans will learn to use land resources practically. Now they're coming out with this new vegan shrimp. Have you heard about this? You know why shrimp tastes the way it does and the protein? It's from the high protein yielding algae or something, right? So that's what they eat. So they just took what the shrimp eat and processed it the way the shrimp would, and then shaped it like a shrimp. Isn't that funny? So you steam it and it tastes like shrimp. It has the texture of a shrimp and it has the protein of a shrimp, but it's made from seed plants. Isn't that interesting? I'll try it. Yes, the January 6th committee is coming to an end, but so is the time of Trump. And now everyone's fighting for the new contracts. It always comes up like that. That's why I'm not, like I said, everybody just continue to support the new green economy. There will always be conservatives in this world. I don't think DeSantis cheated. I think people were scared and they voted for what they felt they understood. Bobert is next. I thought Bobert wasn't going to run again. Is Bobert running? I didn't know that. Bobert's running? Let's look at the future of Bobert. Surprised she isn't arrested yet. Bobert. No, she's facing jail. She's actually in legal trouble. They don't really know what to do with her. She's cornered. Her opposition has the world. Hopes and fears. They don't really know what to do with her. Final outcome, the Star. Patience. Oh, does she have a drinking problem? I think that her opposition could win because her opposition has really great cards. You know, Three of Cups, a celebration. She has cornered sobriety. I just don't think she's doing too well. I don't think Bobert's going to win. If she does, it's not looking like she'll stay. Those are terrible cards. Oh my goodness. I don't think so. I don't think they cheated. I think that young people didn't vote as much as we'd wanted them to. I mean, I spoke to young people and they were like, oh, I don't have time. It's got to vote, people. Let's see if there was cheating in Florida. I don't think there was. Florida. Oh, interesting. See, it's the same thing. This is talking about government contracts and working with the United States. Look, the green economy. They want the money that's coming. They want the infrastructure. So again, whether we shouldn't punish the people of Florida. We still need to build the levees and build the new green economy. Look at that. Experts are going in and people can talk a good talk, but it's not going to change technology and infrastructure. And then the other, mastery, 10 of cups, happy family, 2 of cups, people working together. No, they didn't cheat. And in the end, it doesn't matter because they're going green like everybody else. Yeah, they're going green. This is their card, by the way, East Coast, Southeast. The 2 of Wands faces west, which can be like the Pacific Ocean, and the 3 of Wands faces east, which can be the Atlantic. So for those of you who are readers that are trying to get hints about direction, you may have noticed that the 2 of Wands looks towards the west, which in the United States would be the Pacific, and the east for 3 of Wands and the boating. So this can be this is the Atlantic, basically. But you can see Floridians coming together, and it's over taking a new leap of faith with mastery. And you can see the sword of truth and the new green economy. They're going to save their state. And look at that money coming in from the green economy. Florida's going to be fine. They want to save their manatees, right? They're going green. Everybody's going green. Oh, not yet. But we do know there was an attempt at hacking Georgia back in like 2012, was it, or something? 2000, because and then they were testing it. So I think it was somebody I think it was ICE or something tried to break into Georgia, and then Georgia caught it. Like, why did you guys? They're like, oh, we're just checking. So periodically we'll do stuff like that. America will attempt to break into its own, and that's what happened with Georgia. I think it was in 2012. Florida got broken into by uh, by the American government just to see if it could be done. All right, let's check and see if the Department of Justice has audited anybody. Department of Justice. No. No, it was fair. There's no major investigation here. They don't enjoy the audits. They don't enjoy having people under their thumb, but I don't see any laws broken. You can see here they don't want to cooperate, but you can see partnership. This is like a partnership that they have to tolerate. The Department of Justice, moving on, transformation. No, there's no cheating. Defending their position, King of Swords. You can see here, patience, Queen of Pentacles. No, there's no cheating. Cheating would have been a 7 of Swords. Theft is a 7 of Swords. 2 of Pentacles would be monkey business, right? All right, I think I'll do one more. Then I'm going to go back to my cleaning. Today is a deep clean day. I might do a Broke Aristocrats video on how organizing your home can help you financially. Did y'all like that? Because, when you feel like your life is chaos, just clean. Just go do an account and a reckoning of what all do I have and just start breaking everything down and minimizing and getting organized. And then you feel like you're getting control of stuff. So I'll probably be shooting a video on that later today for Broke Aristocrats. Will swearing in be delayed because of arrest? Wow. Hi, Debbie. Thank you for being here. Hi, Melissa Miller. I already said hi to you. Say hi to you again. Hi, Miss Brazil. If I haven't had a chance to say so yet, thank you to the people who donated, by the way. I didn't get a chance to say thank you. If you need a quick reading with me, you can go to Wizio. The information is below this video. I think it costs $20 for a 5-minute reading. If you need to speak to me for a telemedicine reading, you can go to tarotwithwhimsy.com, or you can just go directly to Booksy, and the link is also below this video. Is there anything else I need to tell people? I can't think of anything else. If you need to speak to me as a doctor for a telemedicine coaching session, you can go to drwhimsy.com, DOCTOR, whimsy.com, and we help create health plans for you. Gotta promote myself a little bit. All right, Rose Blue, let's look. Oh, I see some swearing ins. Oh, there's a new person coming to the Supreme Court. We have a new member of Supreme Court. Biden's putting another member of the Supreme Court on. Aww. Is that another woman? Dang. Maybe a man this time. Ooh, I'm seeing a Latino man taking the next position. Mazel tov, mazel tov. Looks like Justice Thomas may be retiring. We have here, that's nice. Biden is offering another position for Supreme Court. Isn't that lovely? Well, how'd you know, doctor? Because it's a judgeship. A good man. Who is it? Who will it be? A good man who protects the Constitution. There you go. The Emperor and the Constitution. The hopes and fears. No, we don't have to. Congress will be fine. The swearing in will go just fine. You can see there. Queen of Wands is there. That's Kamala. But you have just that strong energy coming in. But listen to this. Final outcome. How do I know that we feel restricted? There is a restriction, but look, the person gets in justice. That's how I knew it was a justice position. I just feel he's Latino. Here he is. And here's my this is the card of the leader. It can be Supreme Court. And then here is the Constitution. Here is the judgment. Here is the offer. And here's the courts. Yeah, we haven't. So that'll be great. So then instead of it being a 6-3, it'll be a 5-4 and a little bit more balanced, I think. Oh, I've said it before. Yeah, because every time I go in, I keep seeing this man, and he's dark complexion, very balanced. But my cards are like justice, the Justice Department, justice, the courts, judgment, 6 of Cups to be given an offer, to a keeper of the Constitution, which is the Hierophant. I read that as, and then Emperor would be a man sitting on the Supreme Court. Yeah. Native American would be awesome. Some Latino are Native American, depending. Texas used to be part of Mexico. The indigenous peoples there of Mexico are indigenous peoples that got occupied by. So you can be both. You can be Aztec ancestry and Mexican, for example. Yeah, but smaller tribes too, like the Pima and other tribes where part of the Comanche, the Apache, bands of tribes that came together, some that were on the Mexican side, some that were on the American side, they got divided. But they're all indigenous peoples. It's good. It's all good. All right, love and light to you all. Thank you so much for your support. Again, if you're trying to get in for a reading, you can check my information below. And I'll see you all next time. Thanks, everyone.